everyone. So in today's video, I just want to quickly show you how to use this novel editor. This editor is a YCG, as you can see here. Novel is a Notion-style WYSIWYG editor. Like what you see is what you get. It is an editor. I already have one video on my YouTube channel. But if you just come here and you put, I think it was queer something, queer editor. I have already one video about these editors. I have one for React Queer, but wanted to use, as we're implementing in the course, we came at a point where we wanted to add this kind of editor. As you can see here, if I just do slash and I can put maybe to-do list, I can put this a to-do 1, to-do 2. So we can have this kind of, I wanted this kind of functionality in the app. Okay, and this forced me to look for a nice editor to use. As you can see here, you can have really this kind of styling going on. I don't know, you can just like put this down here. Okay, you can just have like headings. This is heading, okay, 2. I can have a slash text. You can just like write this. This is the text. So wanted this, and you can see we went ahead and added it, but I found a lot of difficulties while we're trying to implement it. And this is because this editor, over time, they have updated from version 1 to version 2. And it was really hard like to understand how they did this because the documentation is totally not good. So I wanted to come up and help you if you want to put it in your app, and probably maybe you have tried and it failed to work. So let's just go and get started. So the first thing is I'm just going to go here on my YouTube. I'm going to type in shad cn, and while I'm typing in this, I don't want to start from scratch. I just want to go and have a starting point to a project which has shad. So just go to the source code. I'm just going to go here to this. I'm just going to copy this, go to my project here. I'm just going to maybe go to trials, and I'm just going to open git bash. I'm just going to say git clone, and I'm just going to clone this repository, and I'm just going to say a novel v1. So we're just going to start first looking at the version 1, which I actually used in this. Okay, I'm probably maybe going to update, I don't know, but I used the version 1. Okay, in this project. I'm just going to close it anyways. So what we need to do now with this, just a second, which one is this? Cloning into v1. I'm just going to first of all also close all the projects I have open, avoid just confusing. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and cd. So cd into this one we have just created, novel, and then I'm just going to say code dot, okay, and just go ahead and let's go ahead to terminal, and let's go ahead and say npm install, just like this, to install all the necessary packages that we need. Okay, so where do we start? Now, if you just go to the documentation, or if you just type in novel.sh, you go to this here. they tell you to go to the documentation, and this is what the documentation looks like, right? You can just go to quick start. They just tell you to install this. Now, when you go to documentation, what they don't show you here under the hood, they don't show you which version, they don't see you any migration guides. You may think it's just like going to work out of the box, but it doesn't. And when you go to actually this demo itself, whatever it tells you to do, it does not work. Let's see. So let's go here and install this according to what they are saying here. You're supposed to install this and then use this in your app. You shouldn't have, you should just have it getting started, right? This is according to their demo. This, when you go to this, brings up this one, except this is my image. Anyways, this one. I just did this. It was not there, but this is the guide. You can just like do this. So I'm just go ahead and install the Novel and try to use this one. So I'm just going to say npm. By the way, let's first run this npm run Dave to make sure everything is running. And let's go ahead and check this on localhost 3000. Localhost 3000. Localhost 3000. We make sure everything is working properly before we start. So I'm just going to create a new page for the editor so that let's go ahead and just say here, new folder. I'm just going to call it editor. I'm just going to create inside the editor. I'm just going to create the page, .tsx and RFC. Okay. I'm just going to reduce the size of everything here. I'm just going to H2 editor will leave here, will be here. So the editor will be there. Just going to add just stroke editor just to have this. Okay, great. I'm just going to sort of wrap everything inside a container. So class name, I just put container with like padding of 8. Okay, this I think will be great. All right. So now I'm just going to go and follow their documentation. According to this, the detailed installation is npm install Novel. So I'm just going to go here, open a new tab, and I say npm install Novel, just like this. And then after that, they tell you just to import the Novel from Novel and then use the editor component. Just going to try that. Okay. So I will show you, I will try in this video to show you like how to use version 1 and version 2. I haven't used version 2 and I don't know if I can pull it off, but I will try to show you how to use version 2. So when you install this Novel, one thing they don't tell you here, actually the documentation is not clear at all for sure. They don't tell you first of all that there is any previous version. They don't tell you that this is maybe version 2 or version 3. You can't really tell, and you may think just like by following this it will help. It doesn't. And if you just go into documentation, for starters, if you go here, you see what they have here does not even look like in this. Okay, we're going to see in a second after installing this. So this one I've successfully installed. Now let me just go and try to use exactly what they told us. Import the editor and use it here. So I'm just going to come here and say import, and you can just import editor from Novel, just like that. And I'm supposed to come somewhere here, and I say, for instance, .grid. I just want to say .grid equals to .grid grid grid equals to. So if I just go here and I try to use the editor, before even putting the editor here, as you can see, they tell you that if you hover here, they tell you module Novel declares editor, but it's locally not supported. This is the area you're going to get stuck on. Okay. So what I did after getting this error, I went ahead and tried to search this error the way it is, just like this. So if you just look at this, you can see here it is some issue on GitHub. People, it's not just like the first time, but people run into this problem. As you can see here, module editor. If you just continue reading some of these issues the people gave up, the issue here was the latest novel version does not support the editor. You can downgrade to V1 if you still want to use the editor, or refer to this setup to for this correctly. And actually, we look at this, but that is the issue. Okay, that is the issue that Steve didn't they didn't give in a good guide. But if you have browsed the issues opening, you can also take a look at this source guide, blah blah. They have, you can see some of these they are not even there. Okay, so this was just running into the problem, and after checking I found out that you have to downgrade, as they said here in this here, that downgrade to V1. Now, do you know the version? You can't just say it's going to be 1.0 or 0. There is nowhere in the documentation they also have like the previous version was this, then this is the current version. Even the versioning, see, the version is not easy. But after searching the version, I went ahead and I created a small documentation for V1. You're just going to see in the desktop docs here, I have Novel Editor V1 setup. And when you're going to install, instead of installing just like that, just install it like this. npm install Novel at 0.11. Now that we have already installed the version 0.4, if you just go and check in the package.json, you just go down here, you will see that the novel is actually at 0.4. So to downgrade, just simply copy from here this novel, just this. Okay, if you have already installed like the way I did, or if you haven't installed, just simply install this one, right? But I'm just going to simply replace this with this one, just like this. I'm just going to run npm install one more time, just like that. So now I'm installing this version. Now this is the one that I'm referring to as the version 1. Okay, this novel 0.122. This is the version 1, and this is the one you're supposed to install if you want to use it the way they used it in this in their demo here. Okay, where is the demo? If you want to use it the way they used it in the demo here using this editor from Novel like this. Okay, so downgrade to V1 and then let's get started. So basically, if you just look at how this one uses it, they give you the editor instance and that's it. If you want to add more nice things, for instance, you want to save the content the way we did in our project, saving that content in the database and later on use it if you're using like a blog or something. This is the basic setup. Okay, but now the advanced usage setting up is going to be something like this. Okay, so what I just did is I created a component. Okay, created a component. Just going to first create this one, a novel editor. Just going to copy this here to show you. It is still installing. Let's give it a second. Meanwhile, in the components, I'm just going to create a folder for the editor. Create here editor, just like this. And then inside this editor, I'm just going to say novel editor.tsx. I'm just going to paste everything I have here. Okay, just like this. Okay, so basically, what I was just doing this side, now it should be just okay. Okay, just need to put just in the client. But what I basically did, right now is using it this way. The first thing is that they give you this editor instance. Now, this is according to V1, guys. Everything we're using in this is according to version 0.1. Do not use this, it will not work in the version 2. Okay, so they give you this editor, and in the editor you can pass in the default value, okay, type doc, content here, and then on the bounce. Now this default is the one that is going to help us to save the content. By default, it will have the content. If I try to use this, and let me just not put this default that I show you. If I don't put any default like this, if I don't use any default, let me go and call this. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and call this in here, just like this, novel editor, and let's pass in some things here. It is failing to have, so you need to have set content. Actually we don't need even content, I guess. Just for a second, I don't think we need this content. We are not even using it anywhere. Okay, even this here, remove this. So we need two things, the title and the content. And this title, I'm the one who created it just here, just purpose of giving it a title. But the editor, okay, the editor just takes in this, and we're only using this set content to set the content from this editor. Okay, so I'm just going to go back here and I will pass into things the title. Okay, editor content, and then another thing I'm just going to pass in is going to be the set. So here you can just say const content, and then set content is equal to use state, just like this. Now this one you can give it to be string or undefined, just like this. Okay, and then by default you can just say undefined. Now you can pass this set content and you pass it in the editor. Set content is equal to set content, just like this, right? So if we just go in the browser to this, we can always make sure that this one is a use client. Okay, and then just simply make this one editor page, page, just like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and now see if we can see. So you can see here, if you don't put anything just like this, you will see you have this stuff. Okay, they have their default content that they come with. Okay, you will see that I've just made this one, of course, so that you can see it. We want to put here the preview. So this side I want to put the preview of this. Okay, so this content is, if you want to remove that default content, you have to go to here and then you pass in this. In the editor you pass in the default content, just like this. Okay, you pass in default content, you pass in type doc, and then content you make it empty. If you do that, you just end up having, now let's refresh. Yeah, so this so this is, let me just refresh now. So you can see there is not any content. So you want to have it just like this. The second thing you want to do is putting this disable local storage. So by default, they save the content in the local storage, so that even if you close this and you come back, you find it, but it's not something I would want to do. Okay, this is something I just recommend you to do. Just simply disable the local storage, because simply if you're just like say blog, you don't want to see when you're going to type a new blog, you see the previous blog. It doesn't make sense, right? Or you can just have a way of clearing it if you want it. Okay, you could have a way of clearing it after, like maybe when you create the blog and then you go ahead and just clear it from the local storage. That one would work. Another thing is if I just go ahead and of course I added these classes. You can add classes for Tailwind to somehow make it look like this. So basically this is it. I want to show you how we can get the preview here. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this card and the content. And in this page here, I just want to create another grid. So in the first grid, this is this. I want to put in the second grid. I just also want to pass in. I want to create another card for the preview. So just say card. Okay, and then inside here, I'm just going to have card content. Okay, just like this. And in this one, I'm just going to put like h2 dot padding top of 4. I'm just going to say here content preview. And why I'm saying content preview is that in normal circumstances, you will be saving this. Okay, let's go ahead and also console.log this. Console.log content. So this is what you're going to be getting out of the editor, and then you'll be going ahead and save this to the database or to the DB. You'll be saving this content. So would now want to see how you render that. Okay, so if I just come back here and I say another div here, this we are going to put our preview. So if I just go ahead and just put like, for instance, content just like this. Okay, let's go ahead and just try to put a gap one more time. So put a gap here, gap of 6. Where did I put the gap? Did I put the gap in the right place? No. Gap is supposed to be here, gap 6. Okay. Okay, so you have the gap. So you just type here something like, we just put like heading 1 and just say, good morning. I'm just going to say, good morning. Okay. So you can see we have here H1, good morning, right? If I just go here and I put a paragraph, for instance, that I'm just going to say text. So if I just go here and I put, for instance, this is a nice paragraph. Okay, and by the way, you are seeing that it is lagging, it is not having on update, and it's because in the editor, they have two functions in the version 1. The two function is this on the bounce update, and then they have another one on update. So if you use on update, you will have like a typing, you will have live typing, which actually is not good. Okay, instead use this one on the bounce update, which actually takes some time to update here. Okay, to avoid for the performance issues. So this is a nice paragraph, and you can see now instead of this side we are getting HTML. So if you just had this is what you're going to be having coming from the DP, right? So you would have to have a way of passing it. There are so many ways of passing it. For instance, using dangerous HTML, pass HTML using dangerous HTML. As you can, it is dangerous. You can just use these to pass HTML. This one, you can just like see this this blog someone is showing you here. If you have this and then you get the get the object, then you can just come here dangerous, and then you pass this object. I think this way it still works. So you can see it's constructing the object. Let's try to see. Just in the page, I guess here. I didn't use that, but they just show I've never used that anyways. Where is the page? So here, let's just say const, and then it's going to be content here. So now we can just go ahead and use the dangerous HTML, just like this, div, and then you can just say dangerous HTML. So here down where we have this content, I'm just going to go ahead and pass in this, the dangerous HTML. I don't know, what does this come from? Does it, as you can see, they tell you there is a serious drawback using this method. Actually, I used this one, use a library. This is the one I used. Okay, you can use dangerous HTML. It is even giving an error. I don't know why. Is not assignable type, blah blah, property HTML incompatible strings in type string or trusted HTML. Anyways, you can simply just, it will work, I guess. So if we just go to the browser, you can see now, you see it here. Good morning. This is a nice paragraph. Now it has been able to do it, but the best way to do it is using, as they said here, use a library. And the library, actually, I also use it, is this React HTML. There is another one here. There are many HTML to React. Okay. I used this one. Was it this one? Let me see. I didn't use this one. The one I used is here. Okay, HTML React parser. So just go ahead and install this one, the one you're supposed to use. So just go here and let's install this. Okay, just go ahead and install that. And the usage of it, just simply come down here. You simply write the pass like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and just write pass, and where you have this, I'm just going to simply put this, the pass HTML. Make sure to wrap this in this. Okay, so you can pass that, import it from up here. Just going to say import. You're supposed to import pass, I guess, here. So let's just go ahead and import the pass, just like that. Now we don't need this. Okay, we simply just need to pass in now the content. So pass content. Now since it's going to be a string, I can pass it just like this, content, just like that. And now if I just go back here to this, you can wait. There is nothing right now. Let's go ahead and pass in, for instance, a heading. Good morning. Okay, so you can see good morning. We can pass in a paragraph. This is a paragraph. Okay, you can pass in the to-do list. Let's first pass in something else like the code. Do they have like the code block? Yeah, you can also go ahead and just say, for instance, function create user, and we can have, so you can see here it passes also this nicely, maybe console.log. a user something just like this. Okay, so you can see have also the code block, and you can see also the code is being rendered nicely here. So lastly, I just put like bullets. You can put the bullet list. This is portable, long lasting. Okay, so you can just see that you can pass in this, and it is working so properly, right? Yeah, so normally you might not have your paragraphs. As you can see, the paragraph is not looking nice. These headings are not formatted to be like headings. So the only thing you have to do is you need to add in some styles. Okay, now there are some styles I added in the documentation here. You will find them. If you continue, you're going to see here some styles I added here. But after adding these ones, I think there is another alternative. You can copy these styles I added here for styling everything within this block. Okay, because remember this one, this HTML now has no classes. It's just a plain styles. Okay, so you could just go ahead and copy this. Let me show you. You could just go ahead and just copy these styles I added here. Let me see. I can just copy this. Okay, and you can just go ahead and modify them in global.css. Let me put here. And if you look at them, they all have this past html.th, past html. So this past html is supposed to be the container class to whatever you are trying to style. Let's say you are styling this. So this is why you pass this class, past html, like this. Now this should just improve the look. Okay, so now you can see now. Okay, look at this. So you can see good morning. You look at the paragraphs, look at the code is looking much better and like this. Okay, so this is looking really nice, and these are the classes I added. Alternatively, there is another one called prose. You say prose tailwind, and if you just put prose tailwind just like this, they will take you to this plugin of tailwind typography. So just try to use this typography. I've never used it, but that's what they also recommend, that you can use this to add styles to your blog or to your HTML. So let's copy this and let's install this. Okay. And after installing, just go ahead and add this plugin to the plugins. So I'm just going to copy this and let me go ahead and add it to the plugins. This is package.json. Oh, not package. Tailwind config. Scroll down to where we have plugins. Just put comma and add this plugin. Now, after adding the plugin, if you just look at the usage, you simply add this prose and prose excel just like this. So instead of putting that here, this past HTML, let's remove it. So before putting, let me go back here to verify that all the styles are gone. So you can see all the styles now, they are gone. And let's add this one, prose this, and let's go back. Yeah, so you can see, I don't know if this one is more nice, but you can see this one. We now go ahead and look at the headings. If it was heading 1, we'll give it a more vibrant heading. If it is a paragraph, the code. So I think this one is, I think, even more nice if you compare it with the other one. So this one is, it's going to be up to you to which one to decide. You can use the ones I added here. Okay, I manually added them, and this one also gives you a contra, I think, over them. You can see heading ones, I gave them 2 text, then H2s, H3s, and all that. So you can just like style them the way you want. Okay, but all of them works. So this is something to do with version 1. You can see we have no problem. This is good. The problem I think with version 1 are the images. Okay, let me try to add an image. If I click on an image and try to upload an image here, let me just go ahead and just get any image here. Actually, I couldn't get the image uploading. It just keeps on doing this. You get it? It doesn't actually upload. It keeps on doing this. That is like in version 1. I haven't figured out how to make the image upload. Actually, like it keeps on rotating like this, but it doesn't upload. But that one wouldn't be stop me from using it, because most of the times when you're writing like for instance a product description, you're not going to add more images there or anything. So for that use case, it would work for me, right? So this is all to do with version 1. We have seen how to do it. Now let's jump in and see how to use version 2. So to do version 2, I'm just also going to use, since it is using a different NPM, I'm going to stop everything here. I will leave this repo for version 1 and version 2. Everything I will leave for you in the description so that you can just like simply use this. Okay. So you just go ahead and see version 2. I will close this and I will go ahead and clone again the repo we cloned. Where is it? It was this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy again and clone this. So let me just go open the project here. Now it's going to be Novel version 2. So git bash. I'm just going to go git clone. Git clone. I'm just going to go ahead and just paste this. I'm just going to put space. I put Novel v2. Okay, so this one's going to clone it into Novel v2. Now, to give you a spoiler alert, I haven't used the v2. Okay, I have a hint of where I can see the example. Oh, I didn't cd into my project. Let me just go ahead and cd into it. V1. Okay, this is V. So cd into Novel v2 and just say code dot. Okay, let me just go ahead and just close this one. Okay, I'm just going to run this terminal. I'm just going to say npm install. Okay. Okay, so this one should now start again running. Let's just go ahead and create the same thing. I'm just going to create the editor here. A editor. Okay, and I'm just going to create inside here page .tsx. I'm just going to say rfc. Okay, I'm just going to say rfc. I'm just going to say h2 editor v2. Okay, I'm just going to reduce this. So basically, the v2 is the one now they use in the documentation here. Of course, the first step is okay. You can install this. Go ahead and install npm install Novel. We know very well if you install this, it is going to install the version 4. Okay, which is like version 2 and above, anyways. Now they tell you to use, if you follow this one for sure. I've I've tried to start like looking at this. It has a lot of things which are not said by default. They have a lot of things that they added into it. First of all, they started using Tailwind setup. They have extensions. Okay, they use a lot of extensions as you can see here. Okay, They have slash commands, bubble, image upload, drag and drop. They have a lot of things moving on. Now to use them is really not easy to know how to use them. Now when you go to quick startup and you continue down here with Tailwind and you continue here, they give you how to do it. But they say this example will use the same structure here. They say you can find the full example here. Now when you try to go to this, the example they gave, you can see they give you it is a 404. It does actually not exist. But if you want to see this example, instead, just click on the demo, which takes you to this one. Okay. Now click on GitHub. Now this is the GitHub repo. It is an open source project. Of course, you can just go ahead and even deploy this. They actually recommend it. You can see here, you can deploy your own version of Node to Vercel with one click. Okay, you can just go ahead and just deploy the whole project, of which I don't want actually. The only thing I'm interested is here. If you just look here, there is where they have examples with Novel Tailwind. This is one we want to use to copy from. So click on examples. And in the examples, if you just go here, in package.json to see the version they're using, in this one, they're using Novel version 2, 0.2. Okay. That's why they changed everything from 0.2. 0.1 is why the one we used in the first place. This one is the version 2 they used here. Okay, so meaning that this probably maybe is going to. So if you just go to the source, remember we are on examples, the Novel Tailwind. You're just going to see here. We have two folders here. We have the app, they have the components and the lib. If you go to the app, and then you go to the page, this is where actually they use it. They're using this. Okay, so I would just like want to show you to copy some of the things they used here. Okay, the one I'm interested in is in the main. You can see they have const this value here. I'm just going to start like copying to see if I can get it right. So I'm just going to go in my page here, paste this, and mind you, this one has to be a use client. So I'm just going to say use client. Okay, and then bring in the editor. That's the one we are interested with, which I'm just going to paste here. Okay, now we have to import the editor. If you look at what they're importing the editor from, they have in components editor, they have this advanced editor, right? So I'm just going to go here, and also I'm just going to use the same thing. Okay, and they have also here initial value to be value on the change set value. And if you look at here, they have this also default value. So we say just also do everything needed here. Let me first go ahead and copy these. I will remove the ones I don't need. So first of all, bring use state from React. Use state from React, which is here. We don't need the toggle. If we wanted the theme toggle, we would bring it, but we don't want right now. Really? Actually, we have the theme toggle. I guess we could just like go ahead and bring this everything the way it is, because we already have the theme toggle, right? I can just go ahead and paste this here. You could just go ahead and just bring the theme toggle. I think we just called it mod toggle, something like that, and that's it. They have the default value. From default value, we can start with that. So if you just go here on this value one, you see you have default value.ts. You can go ahead and copy that. Copy. I don't know if it copied. Default, it is called default value.ts. So here in the edit itself, I'm just going to create something else like default. Sorry, I'm just going to create the default value.ts, and let's paste this. You can just go ahead and just get everything in this, and this is how their content looks like, just like that. If you go back, default value I think now is there. Why is it still export default value? We should just have it. I'm just going to remove it and just simply get it here, just like so. Okay, we still now have one, which is components editor and then advanced. So I'm just going to go to components, create a folder called so in fact I would just create a file instead inside. So we have to go inside the components, we create the editor, which is going to be a folder slash advanced editor .tsx. So this one is going to create a folder. And now let's go ahead and see what is in the components. So inside the components, they have the editor, okay? And inside the editor, they have a couple of things, and we need all these things, okay? So let's start by going in the advanced editor. That is the first one. Let's copy everything that they have here. Copy everything and paste it here. Okay, so this is now the implementation, the actual implementation. They have this editor root, editor component, then inside the editor component, they pass in, you can see they have on update, they have now slot after, they have editor props, extensions, and of course the class names. Now this is the same as the editor now, but now you have to first put it inside the root. If you want to see these components, if you go back to the documentation and you look at the components here, they explain each component what it does. You can see components. There's editor root, a wrapper component for the editor. It provides consistent layout and styling for the editor. Then they trade the props for this. If you go to the editor content, editor command, and these are the ones that we are seeing here. The editor root, then content, and then we have the editor command. Okay, command list. Then inside the command list, you have the editor command item. Okay, so let's focus on it working by importing the necessary things. Starting with creating all these things. So there is extensions.ts. Let's go inside, copy everything that we have there. Okay, Control C. I'm just going to go extensions.ts. So within the editor, create extensions.ts, paste everything. This one is going to reduce on the errors on this side. And we just have now, and then this is TS or TSX. I think this should be like TS, I guess. If you just check his TS, we have image upload.ts. So I'm just going to copy also this, Control C, image upload.ts, image upload. So inside the editor, we have another file, image upload.ts, paste everything. And then we have slash commands. I'm just going to copy all these commands and then say slash command. Actually, it is a slash command. Okay. I'm just going to go to this, create another one, slash command dot ts, paste everything. Okay. So for the ones which are outside here, we are done with them. Okay. Now just go ahead and just create these selectors. So I'm just going to open selectors. Okay, we have 4 selectors. So I'm just going to first create that. The first one is color selector. I will copy this also. Okay, so I'll just go and create a folder within editor. Which is called selectors. Inside this, we have color selector. So you say color selector .ts, paste everything. I don't know if this is tsx. Yeah, so it is tsx. Just rename this to tsx. Okay. tsx. Now let's go ahead and create another one, link selector. Just copy this. Probably that would be a better way like of cloning this or something, and then we simply copy and paste. Just actually I think I just have this folder, I guess. Anyways, let's just go ahead and just create link selector dot tsx. Is it also tsx? Yeah, they are all tsx actually. So just paste. And then we have now node selector and the text buttons. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this. This is node selector. So in the selector, we have node selector dot tsx, paste everything. And lastly, we have the text buttons. Okay, Control C. We have these inside the selectors. Where is the selectors? Okay, I put selectors in a wrong place, but let me just finish it. They are called text buttons. So text a buttons the tsx, just like this. So these selectors are not supposed to be in the app. They said it's supposed to be in this into editor, just this side down, and okay, just something like that. So we should just now start like having all these ones refreshed. Okay, I can start maybe from image upload. We look at the errors. Toast sooner. You can install these. Some of these ones like sooner or something. npm install. I think this one is supposed to be from shadow something. Okay. Let's just go ahead and try to remove these ones, and then we import them manually, because some of these ones are not just like importing. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove these text buttons, image. So for instance, default extensions, just get them. then slash commands. I don't know why these ones are not. Just go ahead and remove these ones. So just go ahead and import manually. For instance, slash command. Go down here, wherever you see like this. Okay. And then suggestions, you can just get them. Okay. What else? These selectors. We have all the selectors. The text buttons. And then color selector. So this one should just now be okay. We have no errors in here. We go to this, we still have the problem of sooner. Okay, cannot find sooner or something. Okay, this is the one for the toast messages. Okay, you could just go and just say sooner or something. Sooner toast. Maybe we just like do npm or something, or we see how this one is installed. I think these are just the one I just installed. Did I install this? npm install soon or something. It is supposed to have also a lot of things, but I remember I installed this. Okay. Let's leave that one. Let's go to this side. I think this one is supposed also to be TS6. Let's just like make this TS6. Oh, maybe TS6. Yeah, so you can see all the problems gone. So now with all these, let's go ahead and see if we can have it running. I don't know where I have my page. Did we just even run this? Localhost 3000 stroke editor. We just want to see this, and it seems like we are not even running npm run dev. Can we just run this? My power is down. I'm just trying to see how I can make this work. Okay, so let's just go and run this. So this is why you have to use I wish I had more power. um let's just wait and see. Compiling the editor just like this. Okay, so you can see here completed, and voila. So you can see here we have it working. Okay, you can just go here now. So this is now the v2. Let me just put in the right. So this one is now the v2, right? This is the v2. Okay, so I would want now also, you could just go ahead and just do the same thing. So if I just go back to the editor here, where we put it here in this, you could just, of course, give this as an empty array, I guess, or something. So you would go ahead and put exactly the same way we did. Okay, if you remember what I did in the other first one, container dot p8, and we could just say dot grid cores, 2, and then you can just like simply put this editor here, right? And this would occupy like a bigger space, just like this. Okay, so you could now you can see they have this JSON content and on change. So they already have this for you. If we went here and we had this HTML parser, we could just have here this the HTML parser here. I don't know if I can just like add it very fast. I'm just going to copy first of all these two, and then I'm just going HTML React parser npm install React HTML parser, just like this. And I'm just going to go ahead and use it in here. Okay, I'm just going to first cut this and then put this inside this. Now let's put this one on top here. Okay. Did it install or okay? I put I think a wrong one. npm install. What did I put? Let me first see. Couldn't resolve dependencies. Oh, it seems like I actually added the right one, but okay, so it was added. So if I just go back to the page, where is the page? Okay, so we have this hello world. I'm just going to go ahead and put gap of 6 here, and let's pass in the content now. It is dollar value. Let's see if this is going to be passed, and this can't be passed. The reason being is that if you look at this is the JSON content. I'm just going to give this string stroke the way we did in the first one, maybe undefined. I'm just going to put here undefined. Okay, I'm just going to put this undefined, just like that. On change set value. Now, if you just go to the editor, they have their own stuff here. You can see the initial value has to be this. Okay, but now first we can just exchange this to string, I guess, and this on change. I don't know if this should be like also string or something. You can just like try to go ahead and try to change here, and here I'm just going to use get HTML. Okay, there are two methods. You can use this get HTML, and the other one we just want it to be HTML. Okay, I think we have one error. I don't know where it is. Is it on? Okay, so now at this point, my power is going, but if now we go ahead and type in something here, you can see now we have it, slash heading. And guys, you can see that we have now heading. And now this is from version 2. Okay, this is version 2. Okay, list 1, just like this. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for watching. My power is taking me down, but I will leave the links to the boss links, and you can check them out and you can even improve them. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.